Hey guys, welcome back to Three Swords Productions. Steven here. If you're new to the channel, I've been posting a lot of Sanji content over the past 2 weeks, and one of the most requested things is basically just to get an update for the deck profile. I did a deck profile about a month ago with just the first time I'd ever played Sanji, and I was able to win a couple of locals back to back with it. And definitely since then I've had a lot more practice with the deck and seen a lot more videos from you guys online, and I have some updates. At this point, I have basically cut the 7-drop, cut the 8-drop, just because I'm playing Deathwink a lot, and I like that card a ton, and the 7-drop just kind of gets stranded in your hand as you can't counter with it. So I kind of lean towards just every card in my deck can counter, or every card in my deck can do something for me, and I felt like a lot of games, like the 7-drop would win, but there were games where you just couldn't play it, you didn't have enough time, and it would get stuck in your hands. So, going out of the way, this is the Sanji list I've been playing recently. A little flex with my Dark Magician deck box. Shout out to Blade Gaming. So, Sanji leader, and if you guys are interested in gameplay for it, definitely check out the channel. We have, at this point, Sanji versus basically every leader in the game. So, I'm gonna start off with the 2-drops that I play in the deck. Got 4 copies of Bellamy. The 2-drop vanillas are not important. You're not going to search for them or anything, so it's like whatever your preference for 2-drop vanillas are. But I'm playing 4 Bellamy, playing 4 Starter Deck Jinbei, and we really like the Jinbei, so we're going to play 4 more of those. We got the film one. He's just a cool looking pirate. We are playing 3 Wire, and then in the spot where I like to play 16 2-drops, so in the 4th Wire spot, I'm actually playing 1 copy of Killer. Killer is super interesting tech, can sort of trip up an opponent if they're thinking that you're playing all vanillas and you kind of get them with the 1 Killer. It has come up in one of my games. I'm kind of testing it out right now. I think the established Sanji players are playing 2 Killer, but I'm not the biggest fan just because of the way I curve my mana. I don't really have an extra Dawn in order to attach to the Killer. But, you know, that's situational, so certainly it could be better than that. I'm kind of testing it out right now. So that's it for the 2-drops. Moving on to the 3-drops. I'm actually playing a lot more of these now than I used to be, because I was trying to go up to the 7-drop and 8-drop and try to turtle up behind those. But now I've kind of switched over and I'm playing more low to the ground, so I can play a bit more like at the pace that Zoro plays, but have a lot more output. So I'm playing 3 Edward Weevil and 3 Usopp. Again, the 3-drops that you play are kind of your preference. I know there's a couple of different vanilla 3-drops you could play. These are what I'm on. And then for 4-drops in the deck, I'm kind of playing a lot. So we're going to play 4 Zoro and 4 Gecko Moria. So I'm playing 8 of these and just a hefty amount of 3s and 2s. And for top end, air quotes, I'm playing 4 copies of the 6-drop Draco Mihawk. This card is essentially all you need. As once you stick an 8K in this deck, it's pretty much impossible for them to remove this card. I mean, they can Otama Jet Pistol, they can get creative and remove it with their removal spells, but they're never really going to attack this to get rid of it. So once you do land this card, it's pretty much going to stay on the board until either you beat your opponent or they figure out a way to beat this card, because it's so tough. So that actually is, in my experience, all the top end we've needed. That plus all of your 6Ks have been enough to finish games. So that's actually all we're playing. And that is actually all of the characters. So every single one of them is a 1K counter. So with that leaves us a lot of room for events, which I am playing a hefty amount of them. So we've got 4 of the best event in the game, Punk Gibson, super critical life trigger there too. And then we're playing 4 Love Beam, 2 Overheat, and to finish it up, we are playing 4 3-sword style Onigiri. So if you guys aren't aware of some of the cute Sanji tricks that you can play, you can 3-sword style Onigiri out a 2 or 3-drop. I'm playing a lot more 3-drops in the deck so that I can actually throw out a 3-drop with this card more often, but you can use this ability to put a 3-drop into play, and then you can use that to untap 2 Dawn so that you can play one of your 2-cost event cards. Sanji's ability actually activates on both players' turn, not just yours. Just make sure that you have 3 or less characters to meet that condition, and then you're good. So that is a very common trick. I think a lot of people know that one. Something to get a little bit cute, to kind of spice up your gameplay, you might find yourself in a position where you want a little bit more Dawn than you have. So I actually found a cool thing that you can do. And really the situation for this is not going to come up incredibly often, but if you're interested in a little bit of spice, you can overheat to put your card back into your hand, and then you can play Onigiri to put that card back out to untap 2 Dawn. So what that's going to do is you can do these for 5 Dawn, and then because now this gave you an extra 2, now you can play like Level Beam, or now you can play Punk Gibson, or any of the other 2-cost event cards that you might end up playing. And that's super cool because you can kind of trick your opponent with 5 Dawn. Can just bring you up to 7 if you don't have another 2-3 drop in your hand. But also, it lets you protect the characters that your opponent's swinging on. So if you need to make room for, say you're going to play a 6-drop next turn, your opponent's on their last attack, you could pick up your own character without actually losing that card. It might be situational, it might be cute, but hey, play around with it and let me know what you think, okay? And then I think that's about it for deck updates. If you guys are interested in seeing it played out over basically everything in the meta and everything off meta, definitely check out more of the videos in the channel. If you guys are new here, please hit subscribe, and if you like the deck, press like. See ya.